My Clerks 3 spoiler review. I don't know where to start. I've been waiting for this movie for 16 years. I somehow, by the grace of whatever God I technically don't believe in, by some grace of theirs, I got to go to the premiere. And there's no chance I would have been disappointed, because what a great end to that journey. Wanting to see Clerks 3 since 2006 and ending up at the fucking premiere. There's no way I would be like, ugh, not worth it. It could be a dog shit movie, honestly, truly. And I would have been like, well, this is always the movie I was going to end up with, but I ended up here with style. Like in true obnoxious fashion. You should have seen my outfit, honestly. If you look at that Road to Clerks 3 video, you'll see it. And some of the people I met, including Rosario Dawson, who's in the thumbnail. But Clerks 3, I've already said it was worth it. It wasn't a dog shit movie. It was, at this point, my rating's 10 out of 10. It's either my favorite or Clerks 2. You know, Clerks 2 I've had with me for 16 years, so it's real hard to judge that movie new and one that I've been with for so long. And Clerks 2 has a dance sequence. I mean, that's just kind of unfair. But Clerks 3, wow. Okay, so I'm going to give some spoilers for the Clerks 3 script reading too, the old script, just to compare and contrast. And that information's out there. I've seen on YouTube someone recapping that. So now's your chance to find out, I guess, if you haven't seen that. So in Clerks 3, the original script, a hurricane, I don't remember which one, ruins the quick stop. Full stop. First scene. Boom. Quick stop's done. They're not working there anymore. And I knew that was a mistake from the second I heard it. I was like, oh man, they spent so much time in the quick stop. Then they spent all of Clerks 2 realizing they need to go back to the quick stop, and Clerks 3 doesn't have the quick stop. No, that is a huge mistake. That's like, I've heard, I don't know the characters' names. In Karate Kid 2, the girl that the main guy liked, like in Karate Kid 2, he was just like, well, dumped her. Didn't see her again. Huge mistake. Sorry to say it, Kev. Huge mistake. So this one, we got the quick stop, the whole movie. Massive improvement. Good job. Man, people would have been so angry and disappointed, I think rightfully. And in this one, we get Randall getting the heart attack that Kevin had and talked about it so long, and that inspires him to make a movie, much like Kevin made Clerks 1. So the first 20 minutes were weird for me. Oh, his story in the old Clerks 3 was waiting outside of for a movie theater for an entire year and just making his own like raggedy quick stop thing just for him to survive that whole year waiting for a Ranger Danger movie. And he falls in love with a character, or I know it was originally played by, the character was originally played by Sarah Silverman, and then the studio that was originally going to finance it wouldn't pay Sarah Silverman what she deserved, so they defaulted to the actress who was in Hollyweeds, the pilot, I believe, and she also showed up in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot as a lawyer. I'm sorry, I don't remember her name off the top of my head. I'm really bad with names. There were some people in Clerks 2 who I met whose names I didn't remember before looking it up before going up to them. I'm just really bad with names. So forgive me. Don't tell them I said that. And in this, obviously, I'll say this was a much better story than the old script was. Although the one thing I wish we'd had is like in the mid-credits or something, just seeing Dante going through press circuits about this movie he made and meeting Sarah Silverman much in the same way that Kevin Smith met his wife, Jen Schwalbach. Or Jen Smith? I don't know. That's the one thing I wish that I didn't get in this movie. I would have loved that. So, I think I mentioned, first 20 minutes were pretty weird for me, for two reasons. One, in the original script, Rosario Dawson's character was dead the entire movie. I think we saw a clip of her playing ice hockey or something, but she had no proper scenes, unlike this movie. Please have seen this movie before I spoil this for you. Anyway, she was dead from the entire time, and he had a 10-ish or a young deaf daughter. You might recognize that when he knew he wasn't going to make that script, he took that character and made it Millennium Falcon's friend in Jay and Silent Bob reboot. So this is why the first 20 minutes were weird for me. One, I think it felt like they spent a little too much time in the hospital. I don't stand by those words because I'm waiting to see it again, and a third time, and a fourth time, and a fifth time to see if it plays differently. If that was just my expectations, like, wow, they're really spending a lot of time here. And two, because the one thing I thought we were being saved from, or that was being changed from Clerks, the original script, Clerks 3, I thought Rosario was going to be alive. I really did. And I should have known. I mean, I didn't see the trailer, but even the promo stuff had her working at movies, which totally makes sense. Like, if she was alive, she might still be working at movies. But, you know, I assumed she'd be working at the Quick Stops and she was helping make it. Or, you know, not working, being a stay-at-home mom, whatever she'd want to do. Really. But I didn't... We went from her being dead and the child to being alive to both of them being dead. And for just a second, just a bit, maybe half the movie, that was a boat I had to pick. I was like, why? Why did we do it like this? Why? And then the Daredevil 2-esque scene started happening, where he started talking to her beyond the grave. The first one hit me good. Like, okay. Then the second one, that won me over. I was like, okay, we're getting a healthy amount of her. You know, she's not being written out like the Quick Stop was in the old one. Or actually, her being written out like that hit me a lot like it did hit people for Karate Kid 2. I never saw Karate Kid 2. And then by the end, you should have seen the performance he did as Dante at the script reading. It was fucking powerful. And what I told him when I met him was like, holy shit, I didn't think you'd still be able to give a performance like that. I thought she was being brought back. And when he had his heart attack, holy shit, like, way to fuck with us, Kev. Good job. Because we saw the first heart attack. We knew it. We knew it was coming. Never in my wildest dreams, never in my wildest nightmares would I assume Dante would also have a heart attack. And then him and Becky going off, that made... This is even the most emotional part, but it's starting to hit. That made it all worth it. No complaints. That's why on a second watch, I really wonder how it's going to hit different, because it felt so fucking beautiful and dark, but also hopeful and messy. And I mean, Kevin joked at the old script reading that he's been wanting to kill Dante. He's been trying to kill Dante since Clerks 1. In the old script reading, they all go to the Ranger Danger premiere, and he goes, his daughter goes? I don't think he's there with her. Daughter goes, and there's a shooting at the theater, and he shields her from dying, and he dies. That was another one. I was like, oh no. I know where you're going with it, and I will feel positively towards this, but ultimately I don't think it's the right way to go for him to go. This was the right way, especially, and this made me love that Clerks 1 existed, especially with Randall meeting Dante in the hospital and showing him the movie. And they could have just made it with Clerks, the footage they were shooting there. But it was a master stroke. It was such a stroke of genius for Kevin to use the Clerks 1 footage. What a master stroke. Holy shit. Dang, I cry so much. I love it. This was, my God. The next time I meet Kevin, I gotta ask him, did you want to make Clerks 1 because you were so miserable and filled with anger at this job and the customers that you just wanted to make fun of the customers, and through the process of making the film, you fell in love with them? Because that's what Randall does. And I really feel like there might have been something with like Randall and Dante showing the two sides of him during that process. And that's, if so, that would be fucking beautiful. Okay, so in my non-spoiler review, I talked about some stuff that almost ruined it. Becky's death could have ruined it if they didn't stick the landing with all the subsequent, without her showing up throughout the film, and that all wrapping up at the end. The other thing that could have ruined it, that I think almost so close to being a wrong call, was, well, one, Elias turning to Satanism seemed a little corny to me, but I'm not shitting on it. It just didn't work for me. I'm like, alright, bet. I'll believe it. This is the part that could have really just dragged it all down. So in Super Troopers 2, don't worry, this is to the point. So in Super Troopers 2, I love the movie. Everything about it, except for one thing. There's a running gag with, oh man, I'm horrible with names, but the director, I believe it was the director, in the group, Ramathorn? Is that his character's name? His running gag is he's addicted to these estrogen pills and he grows breasts over the whole movie. But that's all he does. It felt like a huge waste of his character. Running gag I didn't find very funny by the second time. And yeah, that could have been this with Elias and his Silent Bob, Harley's real life boyfriend. All their new get-ups and stuff, that totally could have hit as just like, wow, we got filler alert, but somehow it didn't. I can't tell you exactly why. Maybe because they were always engaging in the conversation. I really gotta watch Super Troopers 2 again. I feel like I'm doing a disservice, but somehow that didn't feel like a waste of time. It's definitely the thing that like is lowest on the list, like a running gag of him just redoing his makeup the whole time. That's the one that's lowest if we're ranking all the gags and the running gags and things of that nature. But it didn't hurt the movie, and that's what I'm saying. There were 1,000 ways, the old script for one, that this movie could have shit the bed, ruined the landing, crashed the plane, hashtag too fat to fly. But it didn't. And I truly see Jay and Silent Bob reboot as Kevin's Infinity War and Clerks 3 as his endgame. And not just because our favorite hero dies, although that is a factor, but because Jay and Silent Bob reboot is like cameos galore. All the characters. Get them. Infinity War, all the characters. I mean, Endgame does that in the last 30 minutes, but I'm not counting that. And then this one has cameos too, but it's much more emotional. It's much more soulful. And oh my gosh, Dante's ex coming back, she was great. Oh my gosh, bravo, man. It's just, it all worked. I love it so much. There is no fucking way I miss out on the Clerks trilogy screening that's happening in October in Red Bank, where they're just gonna watch all 3 movies overnight, sleepless, and then have breakfast from the Quick Stop. There's no fucking way I'm missing that. I hope I don't. I know tickets can go out the door like, whew, but I'm gonna try. Yeah, I really need to blow my nose. And I don't know what else to add, but I'm going to be talking it up with Brad after we see it in Washington, D.C. It's great. Please get your Snoochie Boochies, your Berserker, your... What's the other one? I'm not saying... there's not a reason why I only know 2 of them when I was in California. I didn't only find 2 of them. I didn't even look. Stop asking. Anyway... Thank you. I really gotta fucking blow my nose. It's like dripping into my beard. Kevin, if you ever somehow see this, fucking thank you. Thank you, Jeff Anderson, for pulling out of this the first time. Because this is the version. I love it so much. I'm so happy. What did you think? What were you surprised by? I mean, if you can't tell, I do better in reviews when I'm talking to someone. So I'm down to do that in the comments. But damn. This is, yeah, what a fucking masterpiece. Stuck the landing.